Welcome to the show. In today's episode, we will be discussing the 25 basis point rate cut that the Fed just did yesterday. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen next. Now, in the last episode featuring Cardano and Charles Hoskinson, I played a clip from Charles Hoskinson saying that this was going to be the Giga Chad bull run, and he explained that the two catalysts could be the Fed starting to cut the rates as well as the Clarity Act being passed, which could lead Bitcoin into a mega next leg, and all of crypto for that matter, the Giga Chad bull run. So the reason why this Fed rate cut is different is that they're not just cutting and pausing, they are cutting, and on the Fed dot plot, we can see that they plan to try to make it to at least 1%, which is 100 more basis points within the next year, and potentially 50 more basis points this year. That is why there is more room for speculation in the markets. The housing market just may start picking up again in the US, and lots around why this rate cut is bullish. Also, I've got some stats for you from one of my favorite analysts in space, Eric Crown from Crown's Crypto Cave. To summarize one of the main points for Bitcoin, the bullish Septembers that have closed green in the end of September have historically led to a massively green bullish Q4. Now, the last two iterations that Bitcoin closed bullish in September were 2023 and 2024, and the average move after closing green in September is 50 to 60%, which is wild. 50% would put Bitcoin at $175,000, and 60 would put it just right around $190,000 for a massive move coming in Q4. Will we get it this time? It could be in the cards due to all of the catalysts that I'm speaking about, and that no doubt undoubtedly would bring the altcoins with it, and we would get that precious altcoin season. So will we get that blow off top, or will this just be a continuation of a sort of super cycle that will lead us down through 2026? So history shows that although we could have some chop and consolidation and potentially a small correction after the first cut, that up to 1 year out has been massively bullish. So guys, more patience is key, but we all have patience. But more than that, a sense of urgency. This train is about to leave the station. And I've been saying that since I started this YouTube back up at the end of 2023. And here we are about to reap the benefits of what we sowed all of this time. Keep your head in the game, guys. We are right there. We might have some turbulence, but don't get shaken out if you are buying for the long term, just dollar cost average into your favorite setups, because this train is about to leave the station. If you're leverage trading, I have some surprises for you in this episode. Sign up to the link in the Discord below. That is the Crypto Megan Discord. I'm about to launch something massive. If you liked my lives with Trip from the Capital Mindset and other traders, I'm about to gather some of the best traders in the world to lead you through what could be one of the most life-changing moments in crypto history. So sign up to my Discord. It's absolutely free. Get in there now. There will be incentives and rewards for joining now. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, just join the Discord. I want to create a community where we can all experience this together and sort of be the hub for valuable information. And if you like trading, you want to learn how to trade and leverage trade, that'll be in the description. And yeah, I'm very excited for what's coming next, guys. It's time to get prepared, but not only for the life-changing gains you'll be making this cycle, but also for your future self, right? One of the biggest parts of crypto is learning about financial literacy and planning so that you can be free, so that you can work on wealth building throughout the years and not have that stress later on in life. And that's why I've partnered up with I Trust Capital. So shout out to them for sponsoring the channel. And I'm just so excited for this partnership because it allows us to pay our future selves, to get that money in now, and also to buy and sell tax-free within your crypto IRA. So set that up now before the train has left the station, and your future self will thank you greatly for it. It's one of the most trusted platforms in the world is a crypto IRA. It's been around for many years, and I can't wait to show you more about the product. I'll be doing a deeper dive with one of the top executives very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. But for now, the link is also in the description below, and use the code MEGAN9 to get a $100 funding bonus when you fund your account, and it's going to be an absolutely amazing journey. So get started now. Now is the time, guys. I will be deploying some capital over there. You can either set it and forget it, or you can buy and sell and trade tax-free. So there's a lot of benefits to doing so. And I strongly believe that now is the time to get educated, not only on how to trade and how to make life-changing gains, and also to set you and your family up for an amazing future. So that being said, I'll also be getting into some of the key cryptos to buy now on this dip. There's been some news that has come out that is pretty big. So if you want to learn more about that and dig deeper into what the Fed rate cut means for crypto and stocks, short-term, medium-term, and long-term, smash the like, hit the subscribe, and let's get right into it. I'm your host, Megan Nilsson, aka Crypto Megan, coming to you from sunny southern Spain. Please let me know where you're tuning in from too. I love to connect with you guys again. It gives me life. And let's do this. All right, so just to get the tone set for today, I want to have a little bit of Michael Saylor optimism added to this episode, so let's check it out.
And my last point to you, you do not sell your Bitcoin. Thank you.
The guy is a legend. You gotta give it to him. He's one of the biggest vocal people in our whole entire industry. So yes, just want to remind you to stay cool, calm, and collected like I always do. But guys, things are getting really exciting, and we're getting to a point where the train will truly have left the station if you don't act promptly. So that's what this episode is going to be about, and also on the coins that you should be focused on, or that should at least be on your radar. And I'm going to explain why a little bit later in this episode, but I got a lot of really cool deep dives for you. So do stay tuned, including some of Crown's statistics. So Eric Crown, one of my favorite analysts in the space, as I mentioned in the intro, short term, 5 to 30 days, we could be tilted slightly positive, but also choppy. We could go up and to the right, get a little bit of chop and some turbulence as we come into these next couple of weeks. We got the bearish moon coming on Monday and a lot of things happening. Quad witching is tomorrow, so options expire, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So do brace for impact. We could get some volatility, but all in all, extremely, extremely bullish macro environment. I can't stress that enough. And although we may have to have some patience before we truly see that play out, we know what is coming. They are writing. The Fed is writing. The writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. And will you seize this? Yes or no? Will you take advantage of this life-changing opportunity? That is the question. So I'm going to lead you through a little bit more data on this episode to give you a little bit better of a picture of just exactly what is happening and why I believe we're just around the corner of the Giga Chad bull run that Charles Hoskinson speaks of. So some volatility in the next 30 days, 60 to 90 days, medians are clearly positive, but averages can be pulled down if we were to be in a recession-like atmosphere, which we're not. And 1 year, the most likely scenario here is soft lending pauses, strong double-digit gains. That's where we may be headed. I'll show you more stats coming on in this episode, but we are headed for explosive time, guys, explosive time. And also, I just wanted to emphasize some of the points made in the meeting, right? So Jerome Powell cut the rates by 25 basis points, and that's because job creation suggests labor market is cooling off, which means it's time to cut. Risk of inflation is less than one might think, and also a reporter from Bloomberg asked him under what circumstances would it be constituted to cut more than 25 base points, and to which he responded, large cuts are reserved for when policy is out of place and needs to move to a new place, and the Fed is in no rush. Although not everybody agrees with him. So I truly believe, Powell signals more cuts coming next month. Biggest bull run begins. Locked and loaded. I truly believe so, guys. Here's some really cool data for you. It kind of blows my mind, right? This is from Lark Davis. The Fed just cut rates by 25 basis points yesterday. When the Fed cuts rates near stock market highs, history shows a 100% hit rate for higher S&P returns over the next 12 years. And this cycle, crypto is firmly on Wall Street's playbook. If equities benefit, don't be surprised when Bitcoin and alts ride the same wave higher. That's wild, right? For the next 12 years, maybe that would tie into Cathie Wood, ARK Invest, a big ideas report that says that the next 5 years, equities are going to soar as production just goes exponential, right? With AI, with robotics, with crypto, with all of this amazing tech that is being built out. We could see a truly golden age indeed. So that's really exciting. I did want to point out something about the housing market has been very weak lately in the US, and there have been fears around that. So after this recent rate cut, this has been triggering and sparking more interest in refinancing, which is great. As you know, I consult for one of the top companies in the space, RWA space and real estate space, which is Proppy. And my goodness, they have done some amazing things. They just sold a house fully on chain in Hawaii, with collateralized with a Bitcoin loan. Absolutely insane. I love to see innovation, right? So mortgage rates slide to 6.13%, sparking talk of a refinance wave. With the Fed poised for another cut and rates tumbling from recent highs, homeowners and buyers are eyeing new opportunities as refinancing demand builds momentum. So we're starting to see that renewed momentum in the housing market, but we'll see later on just exactly what's going to need to happen for that to start picking up, right? I'll go through a thread with you, which I find really interesting. Now, one of the reasons why I believe that we're soaring right now in the markets, if you check the altcoins, everything is looking very good. And that's because we didn't just get a one-off rate and then a pause. We got the announcement of a rate cut with future cuts to come, and that is driving the speculation now, right? On the dot plot, it shows that we want to make it all the way. The Fed wants to make it to a 1% total basis point rate cut, which is 100 basis points, and potentially 50 to even 75 coming by the end of 2025. That is extremely bullish. Now, that paired with the Clarity Act that could be passed very, very soon are massive catalysts to send us into the fourth quarter, an explosive fourth quarter, when the time comes. So as I said in the intro as well, when we have a bullishly green September, all we have to do is close above 109,000 for September to come in bullish. Then historically in Bitcoin, the fourth quarter is massively bullish with an average of 50 to 60% gains. Oh my goodness. The writing is on the wall. It's all over the place. They're even telegraphing the coins that they're going to start buying on Wall Street. I mean, guys, it is time to make moves. Make moves. Let me know what coins you're buying in the description below in the comments. I'd love to know what you are doing right now as you're positioning for this. I'm going to go through some news now. The Fed says they don't feel the need to move quickly on interest rate cuts, which upsets Donald Trump a whole lot. Jerome Powell says the Federal Reserve can no longer say the job market is solid, and over 105 million was liquidated. They are extremely volatile events, guys, but we are looking good now on altcoins as we've broken an all-time high on total 3. So if we can hold above that, blue skies are ahead for altcoins. It's very, very exciting. Now, we will get pullbacks along the way. So if you're leverage trading, do have caution and exercise risk management, right? I am teaching that in the Discord with some of the best traders in the world. So sign up to the Discord now. It's free. Get in now while you can, and you're going to be happy that you did so, right? So the Fed says that the economy has slowed. Tariffs are being paid by importers. So tariffs, a lot of noise, just like Kevin O'Leary said. Pay attention to the signal, and the macro signal is very bullish, right? It's very bullish. Look at this golden, is this real, you guys? A golden statue of President Trump holding a Bitcoin placed outside the Capitol. This has got to be like AI or parody, right? Is this real? Let me know in the comments. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool if so. The digital golden age is truly upon us. So this was huge news. The SEC approves generic ETF listing standards, clearing the path for digital assets listings without individual approval. And why is this big? It's big because before, with these ETFs, we get massive delays. Months and months and months, and now they could be approved within weeks. So they're giving clarity around that. So it approves Grayscale Digital. So we also got the SEC approving Grayscale's digital large cap fund for trading, which includes the following: Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Sol, ADA. A blue chip portfolio right there, guys. If you don't have those in your portfolio, you better consider it. It's not financial advice. Nothing on this video is financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and how I'm playing this to have great success and potentially one of the most life-changing bull runs that we're about to experience. So I want to get prepared in every aspect. If you want to learn how to trade and leverage trade, sign up to the Discord. If you're DCAing, stick to your strategy. I'll be launching a Patreon too with what I'm doing and all of the strategies used by a lot of other people who are very good at what they do, okay, in this market with an exit strategy as well. And also, do sign up for iTrust, okay? iTrust Capital, one of the most trusted crypto IRA exchanges. I want to start building my wealth, not only for now, but for my future. And so I can be free and so I can enjoy the later parts of my life. And also you can buy, sell, and trade tax-free. Let's take advantage of that, right? That is part of my strategy. So that's what I'm doing. You use the code Megan9, you get a $100 funding bonus. So do take advantage of that. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says he's in DC working to get crypto market structure legislation passed and making sure we never have another Gary Gensler. Amen to that. Amen to that. I know I don't want another Gary Gensler, right? And also, President Trump has a lot of his wealth tied up in crypto and equities. And I very well may be what he wants to be his legacy, right? That he brought the digital golden age boom back to America. And he says that stocks will do much better as time goes by. So pay attention, guys, pay attention. And just a summary of the Fed rate cut meeting. Inflation is still high, but risks are lower versus April. So he said that there's the risk for inflation is less than one might think. Labor market is weakening. Tariff impact is short-lived. Again, noise versus signal. And consumer spending is slowing down, and there's no rush to cut the rate. So he started bullish, but he ended with a bit of a hawkish tone, and we're somewhere sort of in between. But we know that not everybody in the Fed agrees with each other, right? So this is an amazing thread that I'm going to go through with you guys because it kind of sheds a light on what is exactly happening and where we could be headed. And it's insane, okay? Just bear with me as I go through this thread. So it's official. For the first time in 2025, the Fed just cut interest rates by 25 basis points and blamed a weaker labor market. Immediately after, the US dollar fell to its weakest level since February. What's about to happen is going to blow your mind. And let me tell you, it's potentially one of the greatest opportunities of your lifetime, of my lifetime, of all of our lifetimes. And I don't want to mess this up, right? So I'm reporting as we go, and I'm telling you what I do so that you can join me in this ride. And yeah, there's great potential coming in these next couple of months, and I want us all to be ready. Today's rate cut made history. This marks the first Fed interest rate cut with core PCE inflation at 2.9% in 30 years. That's a big deal. The decision was clearly driven by the labor market portion of the Fed's dual mandate. The labor market is simply too weak, even as inflation has risen. Today's meeting was also important as it came with the update Fed dot plot, what I spoke about before, and this shows where the Fed sees interest rates moving as shown per zero hedge. The median projection shows an additional 50 basis points of interest rates cuts before the end of 2025, but also potentially 75%. So let's see. But that is coming. And the writing is on the wall. They're letting us know. They're telegraphing the moves. And all we have to do is be patient and stick to our strategy, right? As noted above, there was one clear outlier in the data. This was Stephen Muir, a recent Trump appointee who dissented the decision to cut by 25 basis points in support of 50 basis points cut today. As seen in the dot plot, the Fed appears to be very divided as we look ahead. In fact, this is the most divided we've seen the Fed in a very long time. 9 out of 19 see 2 more interest rates cuts in 2025, while 6 see no more rate cuts. That's a big divergence there, right? They all want 2, the majority wants 2, but 6 of them want nothing. So it's highly divided, and that's not been very common in the past years. The Fed also updated their economic projections. While they see PCE inflation moderating, their 2026 forecast was raised from 2.4 to 2.6, and meanwhile, unemployment is expected to remain in the 4.3 to 4.5 range. It's clear we're trending toward stagflation. The market knows that the Fed will be prioritizing the labor market over inflation, and as a result, the market now sees a base case of 4 more rate cuts by September 2026. That right there alone is enough said. This next year is going to be massively bullish, according to history, right? So again, this is a historic pace of rate reductions into inflation, a situation almost never seen before. The Fed is now officially cutting rates with the S&P 500 at a record high. The last 20 times this happened, the S&P 500 rose an average of 13.9%. That is so big for the stock market. That is massive for equities. I mean, that's unheard of, right? Over the next 12 months, near-term volatility will persist with 50% of cases resulting in negative 1-month returns, okay? So what about the housing market? Heading into this rate cut, home buyer demand will hit its second lowest level on record near the 2009 low. But what's interesting is that rates have already dropped in anticipation of today. This was priced in, yet demand remains historically weak. If the Fed wants relief in the housing market, here's what's going to happen. Mortgage rates would need to drop enough to incentivize 55+% of homeowners with over 4% rates to move. Otherwise, the result will be 5% of mortgages, approximately, with somewhat higher demand, but still limited supply. Powell was asked on cutting rates with stocks at record highs and a potential bubble. And Powell said he is focused on containing inflation and unemployment, not the stock market. As we've said for months, asset owners will reap the rewards of this new era of fiscal policy. Absolutely. Get prepared for it. Above 2% inflation is being met with rate cuts. As a result, the economy is shifting, and its implications on stocks, commodities, bonds, and crypto are inevitable. Inevitable. I highly, highly believe it. These are crazy. This is a crazy macroeconomic atmosphere for risk on assets that we're going into, and I believe it's going to lead to a massive boom, right? The Giga Chad bull run that Charles speaks of. So also the coins that we should all be paying attention to, they should be on our radar at the very least. Pay attention to the list below. The SEC just approved generic listing standards for commodity-based trust shares on NASDAQ, CBOE, and NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. This means crypto ETPs that meet the threshold can go to market in weeks, not months. Here are the 12 that qualify: Bitcoin, ETH, Doge, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Link, XLM, AVEX, SHIB, DOT, SOL, and ADA. These qualify because they already have futures trading on CFTC designated market for 6+ months. Cardano specifically launched in March 2025, so currently right at the threshold. Wow. Okay, so these are the coins to have on your radar. I know there's a lot of Cardano fans on this channel, and guys, I mean, just another reason to be massively bullish on Cardano, and patience pays off. Patience pays off. Now, it might not all be up and to the right from here. We might get some corrections. Be prepared for them. Embrace them. I will be buying the dip on those. I'll be dollar cost averaging. I'm also doing a lot of leverage trading as these ranges have been phenomenal. And yeah, if you want to learn, just join the Discord and ride this wave with us. And here you see from Plan B, the M2 money supply in all the different countries, US, China, Euro, Japan, parabolic. Parabolic, I mean, the writing is on the wall. Historically, if we were going to follow the 4-year halving cycle and the cyclical, 4-year cycle that crypto goes on and Bitcoin, then we could see as early as an October top to as late as a December 2025 top. But, given the atmosphere and what's been projected, I don't think that this is going to play out like a normal cycle. Time will tell, but we will be guiding you through every step of the way, and they're right there with you. But, it just all signs point to that this cycle may be a little bit different. And of course, the Clarity Act, September 30th, exciting times for crypto. The Clarity Act passed the House back in July with bipartisan support. The Senate Banking Chair, Tim Scott, is pushing hard for finalization by September 30th, building on the Geniuses Act's success. White House and Senate leaders are confident it'll pass, bringing long-awaited regulatory clarity for digital assets and boosting U.S. innovation. Fingers crossed. So Kevin O'Leary did say on my podcast that and it really struck me as interesting, was that Bitcoin will range anywhere from 80,000 to 200,000 forever until the Clarity Act is passed. And that is one of the main holdups right now for a lot of institutions, a lot of funds, and a lot of different entities that would invest in crypto, but that don't want to do so before there's clarity and clear regulatory action, right? So the Genius Act was the first step, and now the Clarity Act would be the next step, and that would be, very simple. If a blockchain is decentralized, it's a commodity, CFTC, and if it's not, it's a security, right? So that's just what they want to know. Give us that clarity so we don't have to feel around in the dark and we don't get any surprises. And that's what we constantly had with Gary Gensler. And now the CEO of Coinbase is making sure that we'll never have another Gensler ever again. We are at the verge of this booming and brilliant and beautiful digital golden age. It's not all going to be a bed of roses, guys. No opportunity is. In fact, oftentimes the best thing in life, or the greatest opportunity, is the hardest. You have to do the hard things to get there, right? There are no shortcuts. You've got to be patient. You got to put in the time. You've got to learn. And just for all of you watching and who made it to this point, thank you so much for being here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode. I'll see you tomorrow.